When this study popped up, we thought, you got to weigh in on this. They say that Gen Zers come in, they're sincere, but if they have no necessary instinct on what to do next, find them a lot sitting idly by waiting for instructions on what to do next. Does that make sense to you? Something about this generation that would have trouble being self-motivated?
Well, I think that if you set up an education system that's designed to do nothing but demoralize young people.
It's odd to address Gen Z when you are absolutely tailoring this messaging and your broadcast to your true audience, which is boomers, their grandparents. This video is not cut for Gen Z. Not a single Gen Z eye will see this video, especially on television, maybe on YouTube, on accident, but certainly not on TV. The idea that a single Gen Z eye will see this is laughable, which is the kind of attitude that I want you to have while you're watching this, because it's probably going to be tailored towards not necessarily Gen Z, but their grandparents. Gen Z's soft skills struggle, make change of the register, work with others, make eye contact, deal with frustration, stay off their phones, take initiative. This is basically all, all millennials know how to be bisexual, eat hot chip, and lie, charge their phone. My parents won't get the off their phones. Yeah. Meanwhile, grandpa definitely knows how to deal with frustration. And like, while he might not be on his phone, grandpa's watching Fox News for 12 hours a day. What the do you mean? Does grandpa know how to work with others? Does grandpa deal with frustration well? So dumb.
The education system has been trying to demoralize people for 60 years. One of the things that really stuns me, I haven't been able to figure this out yet. I've been trying to talk to Republican governors about this. I cannot understand why conservatives have been daft enough to allow the faculties of education to retain their hammerlock on teacher certification for the last 60 years. It's insane.
You mean the criteria to get the certification and what's in it?
You have to be trained in a faculty of education to become a teacher. Why? They're the most woke element of the entire rotten university carcass. The conservatives are always complaining about the culture war. It's like, well, you handed all the young people to the faculties of education, right? Their research is terrible. It's low rate. Their students are generally very incompetent.
Is he crazy? Is he suggesting that we just defund them? These godforsaken institutions, just defund them. They're churning out propaganda.
So that's all you have to do if you want to motivate young people, is to teach them a bit of visionary discipline and encourage it. And we do the opposite of that. Plus, we terrify them. Trigger warnings. We tell them that everything's dangerous.
Yeah, that's what's stopping children from learning, trigger warnings and stuff. That's what's terrifying children in schools is fucking trigger warnings. My man is perma stuck in 2016 so hard, dude. This is such a fucking 2014 to 2016 era. Absolute idiotic, dumbass fucking take. I thought we killed this. I thought this was dead. I thought this was not a thing that people were saying. Like, who the fuck still complains about trigger warnings? Who? Is there anyone that's still like, yeah, trigger warnings? Like, it was a fixture of the permanently online when it was popping. It's completely silly. Like, is that even a thing still? Very much so at colleges. Okay. It is being utilized in certain institutes of learning. But does that mean that there's like any kind of discourse surrounding it where people are like, oh, you gave a trigger warning for this? This is fucked up. Like, are people even mad about it is my point. Is there still discourse over it? This isn't being a petty bitch for his licensure being threatened for being a dumbass. Yeah, I mean, he was posting about how it was hard for him to find child porn on Twitter. No wonder they threatened to remove his license. Don't throw Haz. That's a real tweet that he posted. Was there ever actually anyone who expected trigger warnings IRL? I mean, they will do it in like a college or something in an educational setting. Sometimes they issue it before, like, maybe not a movie, but like a YouTube video or something. Or a news broadcast, like trigger warning images and depictions of police brutality. But not a single fucking person would complain about it now because, like, ultimately, you know why? People understand it because it's accommodating. And at the end of the day, this entire project of humanity revolves around us as social animals coexisting, cohabitating the same fucking spaces. And in order for that project to work, you have to be respectful. You have to be kind. You have to be accommodating. And as long as those accommodations are not like insane, right? Like changing people's behavior or making it much harder to exist or coexist, then yes, there are always people that are going to get mad, or people that even take those accommodations overboard to the other degree, right? To the other side. But you just basically pick and choose things that work and move along with it. One thing that I said a long time ago when tone indicators were being utilized online, one thing I always said is it's actually not that bad for tone indicators to exist in text, because it is absolutely, it's not like you have to use them, right? And people already use tone indicators in the form of emojis and emotes. But tone indicators isn't just for people with autism. It's just for everybody, really. It's a good way to communicate because man is a social animal. Now, you can fucking lose your mind over it and get mad about it and be like, how are these people communicating? It's so much worse now. Back in the day, I could just send an eggplant emoji and everyone would understand that is my dick. It's a substitute for my penis. Now, I'm getting in trouble for it. Why? Because I did not use a tone indicator. You pick and choose things that work, and the things that don't work, the things that are otherwise seen as silly, like Latinx, are slowly but surely shelved or relegated to the sacred halls of academia in certain circumstances. That's it. Birthing person. You will never in a million years see someone drop that in public when describing a fucking human being. It's just never happening. That is never going to happen. I go to the wokest fucking circles, okay? Trust me. The only time I've heard people talk about birthing person one way or another is always right-wing reactionaries getting mad about a problem that does not exist. Maybe in a medical context. That's it. It is so fucking dumb to get upset about it. It's just like, this is most conservative commentary. Vice signaling about certain accommodations made that are not even nonsensical, but at worst, just have no harm conducted to another person. Maybe annoys you a little bit when you see it. All they do is chirp, 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 chirp about this as though it's like eviscerating Western civilization. As it's destroying Western civilization. If Western civilization is so indestructible, how the hell is it crumbling because someone used a trigger warning?
You want to do what you can to help people who might have obstacles that could be overcome to learn. That's not unreasonable. But the problem with the accommodation hypothesis is what happens when you have an actual problem to solve.
There's nothing more hilarious than Jordan Peterson constantly chirping about accommodation, because this circuit that he's complaining about has not been accommodating to his lack of accommodation narrative. At a certain point, everyone is looking for a hug box. And Jordan Peterson's entire gripe revolves around the circles that he was in academia not being a hug box for him. That's all his spite. That's what motivates him. That's what drives him. Obviously, money drives him as well, fame, those sorts of things. He likes that. But he's just fucking mad that they won't accommodate him being against accommodation. It's always projection with these fucking weirdos, man.
Accommodated. You're not going to be accommodated in a workforce that requires genuine competition. Because if you're accommodated in a workforce that requires genuine competition, you're just going to be taken out. There's no time for that. Right. You might say, well, there should always be time. It's like,
no, you fucking idiot. How can you compare education to like a competitive field like NBA or something? It's idiotic. You can't leave people behind. This motherfucker literally looks at like George W. Bush's No Child Left Behind and goes, no, it was great when children were left behind. More children should be left behind. That's how we will actually educate a larger population. I don't think he doesn't really want the accommodations. Then he won't have a grift. Yeah, that's true. There's that aspect of it too.
When you're making important decisions, you're always balancing one catastrophe against another. You don't have the option that everything's going to turn out. And so the problem with accommodation, well, first of all, it's going to be gamed, and it's being gamed like mad. And second, it gives the person who's being accommodated to the wrong picture of the world to which they're going to adapt. You think about this with parenthood. How should you treat your kids?
Here's why I can never take this seriously, because the world is not a meritocracy, no matter how hard this fucking dingus tries to claim it is. Not a meritocracy at all. That's why people get so mad at nepotism. It's like, dude, listen, affluent families are able to have accommodations made for them in the form of not having to have their child work a job, for example, while they're going to school. There is no real meritocracy, pure grit, because there is no real base level of material equality. Jordan Peterson used to always say, equality of outcome is not what we want. We want equality of opportunity, which we have. And now these neo-Marxist postmodernists want equality of outcome. It's like, no, dumbass. Point to me a single place in society where there has ever been equality of opportunity truly established. It does not exist. That's what people are advocating for. That's what people want. Equality of opportunity. You are just using yet another straw man to make it seem like equality of opportunity is actually just equality of outcome. Bro, you nail him so well. It's because I spent so many years duking it out online with Jordan Peterson dick riders who were some of the most unimaginably annoying assholes that I literally picked up on his mannerisms and his voice and all of his arguments. Some of which are in here as fans of mine now, luckily, because they've changed their mentality over the course of the 2014 all the way to like the 2020 era. I've been saying the truth about Jordan B. Peterson for years, almost 10 fucking years now. I mean, since he first popped off in like 2014, 2015. It's very frustrating to see him still try to revitalize this exact same grift with the exact same standards, with the exact same talking points in 2023, because the cycle wore itself out only to rear its ugly head again now that Joe Biden is president and, like, you know, liberalism has taken root in society. Also, one thing that you looked over today is his claim about the future authoring program claims. His study is not peer-reviewed, done in only 2 universities, and track GPA over 2 semesters only. Motherfucker out here making outlandish claims. Yeah, one fun thing that these conservative freaks used to do, which is like kind of a dying art at this point, is they used to always talk about how shitty the humanities are, which Jordan Peterson not going to fully do because, like, I mean, he's a psych guy. But they used to talk about how shitty the studies are in humanities. And it's not a real science, right? Liberal arts is bullshit. Look at all these fucking bullshit studies. They used to bring this shit up all the time. As a matter of fact, they even make like fake studies to prove how easy it was to like get non-peer reviewed studies published and shit. Meanwhile, they do that all the time now. I mean, this is him doing the same thing. It's just like a fucking bullshit ass study. Also, it's ironic because like a lot of the bullshit ass studies come from, or way more of the bullshit studies come from, the oil lobbyists that create think tanks that explicitly churn out these studies with propaganda purpose that make their way not in front of peer reviewers, but instead make their way directly to Fox News and, Ben Shapiro and everyone else.
If you accommodate people beyond what the environment itself would allow, you misinform them about the world they're going to inhabit. And plus, it can be gamed, and it's being gamed constantly.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite take, which is like, again, such an old grift. You almost appreciate it. It's like nostalgic. You know what I mean? We opened up a time capsule, and Jordan Peterson from 2014 popped out, crawled out of there to just like say the same shit. Like, oh yeah, if we do accommodations in schooling, then these kids are going to be shocked when they find it out in the real world. There's no accommodation in the real world. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, everybody knows that. This is perhaps the dumbest argument that they used to use against safe spaces, right? They were like, you can't have a safe space in a college campus because the world is not safe. It's like, hey, you fucking idiot. That is the entire point of the safe space, because it comes with the recognition that nowhere else do you have just like a free moment where you don't have to constantly debate your identity, for example. That's the literal point. If the entire world was safe and everybody fucking recognized it, there would be no need for a safe space. It's so stupid. This motherfucker went into a benzo addiction coma and then came back and he still thinks it's fucking 2014. What's happening? And of course, once again, pure projection, pure grift and pure projection. I've never met a conservative that doesn't love having a safe space and a hug box. 90% of their fucking arguments revolve around why liberals don't agree with them. That's like Their whole fucking argument is like, oh, well, liberals don't agree with me, which is why we need to bully them until they're forced to. Oh, I got dunked on. I hate that. That's the worst thing that could have ever happened. Let's build a conservative dating site. Surely that'll work. It's like, it's so stupid.
Online school, you and your daughter working together.
Yeah.
What should we know and how do we get it?
Well, we've got about 30.
Yeah, and there it is. And this is the real reason why he's doing this grift, because he, much like Barry Weiss and all these other like intellectual conservatives, are trying to start their own colleges, okay? Fake colleges, taking advantage of like America's awful higher education structure that allows you to just like slap on the word college or a university onto any kind of institution. Barry Weiss did this in Austin, if I remember correctly. What the fuck was it? She made like some nonprofit grift. Trump University is a very famous example of this, obviously. And now Jordan Peterson's getting in on the grift as well.
30 courses recorded so far in a studio in Miami. They look very good. They're very professionally produced. We're trying to find the best lecturers in the world. So if you think you're a good lecturer and you want to participate, give that some thought.
I'm the world's greatest lecturer. And wouldn't you know it, I'm watching One Nation with Brian Kilmeade right now. It's my time to shine. Oh my God, let me ring up Jordan Peterson right now. Like, who the fuck are you recruiting at One Nation with Brian Kilmeade, dude?
We hope we'll be ready to roll in November. We want to make sure that we have the best lecturers that we can possibly provide.
I mean, this is so awesome because when Barry Weiss did the same exact thing, everybody just like clowned on her and then it failed. It's just a scam. You want to know how I know? Andrew Tate did it with Hustlers University, bitch. He was there before you. He did it way before you, King. What's happening? Won't catch me in HasanAbi University. I'll be leaving with new pronouns.
And then we're going to ally that with a very stringent testing and accrediting system so that if you are a graduate of this particular institution, the people who hire you will know that you learned what you were aiming at learning and that you did the proper work. And that's extraordinarily important because employers need to know that.
Yeah, dude, so many people are going to be just desperately fighting over one another to get the latest Peterson University graduates. They learn things like hustle culture, cryptocurrencies, and numerous other subjects that all of this goon's closest allies will be pushing for. Matt Walsh teaches gender. Dog, you're a Daily Wire commentator at this point. That's all you do. You're not a fucking serious professor any longer. Like, you got kicked out of the profession, so you turned around, went to America, just like all of these fucking ballin' dipshits do whenever like European countries or wannabe European countries like Canada, Snow Mexico, will kick you out, and then you come to America to continue the grift. Steven Crowder teaches interpersonal relationships in the workplace. Went to jordanbpeterson.com. My man is still selling tickets for a tour, offering personality courses. Understandmyself.com, Conservative Manifesto, A Vision for Conservatives. Remember, he was a liberal, by the way. Essay, You Don't Need Another Autocorrect. ARC, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship Statement of Vision and Invitation. Where the fuck's his college? An 8-module personality course taught by renowned psychologist and best-selling author.
Trillion things to pay attention to. Almost all of them are irrelevant.
This is it? This is all they got? 79,000 followers. Launching in 2023. We're filming a course on the Sermon on the Mount, an intro to Churchill, and an intro to statistics this week. So it's going to be an online college. Peterson Academy's Twitter account boasts in its description, courses, virtual classrooms, community, devoid of ideology, learn the world's best, how to think, not what to think. Launching in 2023. And then the first thing that comes up is just promoting Michaela Peterson. Peterson Academy, at Peterson Academy, will fix this. 900 likes. It's not doing well.
I
want to hear what he has to say about the American education system. Gotta see what brilliant takes this Canadian man has.
Derivation of the American public education system and found out that it was based on the Prussian model. And the Prussians produced a universal education system in the late 1800s because they were afraid they were losing military superiority and they wanted to produce a cadre of mindless, obedient soldiers.
Okay, public education, much like the military structure, is almost entirely created for some level of public cohesion. Yes, social cohesion. That part is not true, but you would agree with that. I think. Most people would. You kind of need that. You need some level of social cohesion to exist, to cohabitate. You also need like a base level of education. You need like some information that is forcibly fed into you so that you can operate in society.
And then that model was adopted by prototypical fascists in the US, again in the late 1800s. This is before Mussolini and all of that time. Corporate types mostly who wanted to produce cadres of obedient workers. And that's why the desks are in rows, and that's why there's factory bells, and that's why it's top-down leadership. What was really stunning about that—
Wait, what the fuck? What? Dude, this is like straight up anarchism. Like his critique. Wait, what? His critique of the American education structure is quite literally, like, this is, first of all, like, what is he about to say? Like, schools are prisons? Like, what's happening? This is insane. Isn't this Foucault? Isn't he straight up fucking biting Foucault shit? Not that he's, I mean, I'm not saying he's like anarchist or whatever, but like, this is literally, dude, he became what he hates the most, a postmodernist. A neo-Marxist postmodernist. What the fuck? Dude, this paired up with his constant, like him claiming that he wants to be devoid of ideology, is that I think he's still relapsing from the Slavoj Žižek beatdown to this day. He's just like, what happened? Did he start reading all the works and finally start reading all the works and just like rip them, but also claim that he's doing it from like a right-wing perspective? What's going on?
It wasn't only that that was the model, but it's worse than that, because the people who built the schools were consciously aiming at eradicating the will of the students who were part of the system because they wanted them to be obedient.
I'm losing my mind. Did no one point this out? I'm sure people saw this and were, nope, everyone's saying wokeism is the tool. Wokeism, wokeism, wokeism. Oh my God. Oh my God. People are fucking Foucault posting, but like in a right-wing way. What is happening? This is a Facebook memification. Here's the Foucault quote. Dude, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my fucking mind. What is going on? Is it surprising that the cellular prison, with its regular chronologies, forced labor, its authorities of surveillance and registration, its experts in normality, who continue and multiply the functions of the judge, should have become the modern instrument of penality? Is it surprising that prisons resemble factories, schools, barracks, hospitals, which all resemble prisons? What the fuck? This is critique being appropriated and consumed by the status quo, lol. No, it's also because, like, these people are fucking stupid. They're just incredibly stupid. Regimented schools do inhibit creativity and learning. I don't even disagree with that. The problem is, when you're a fucking conservative saying this, you're saying it for an entirely different purpose. Your purpose is the abolition of the education department. Your purpose is to basically only offer charter schools that are private, to drive an even further wedge into those who have and those who have not. You just want to destroy the federal government in its entirety. You don't like the social cohesion or some semblance of social cohesion that public institutions create, and it's supposed to create that so that we can cohabitate with ease, so we can collaborate better. That's why I always say institutes of higher learning have to be fucking free, because that will mean that we have a better educated, more productive labor force that is beneficial for even the capital owners, if you want to think about it from a long-term perspective. These guys don't want that. They want people to be dumber. They want people to not be educated. They want only those who are wealthy enough to come from wealthy families to get these educations, to create an even larger wedge between the underclass, the working class, and the capital owners. Hopefully student debt like this will be a thing in the past once we take off. Wait, what? When I was 17, I went to a Limp Bizkit tattoo, and when they wouldn't let me because I didn't have a guardian's approval, I cried and punched a lamppost. 3 months later, I was allowed to take on $119,000 in loans to go to our school. Wait, how are they funding this institution? Like, what? I mean, that's a banger tweet, but I don't get it. So Jordan Peterson is biting into Foucault's shit super hard, kind of messed up. We will not allow it, not on our watch.